everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's Shelly Levi here. And tonight I'm coming to you with the third and the final Facebook Live video based off the takeaways I had from Dr. Tom O'Brien's Facebook Live that he did. It was probably back in June, I think was the original Facebook Live. And I actually shared that one to my page on Monday. It's from it's thedoctor.com. Thedoctor.com. He has a Facebook page. And if you're a person who suffers from autoimmune disease, I highly recommend you follow him. He is an expert in the industry when it comes to autoimmune disease and getting to the root cause. And why I shared his Facebook Live is because he was talking about CBD oil and what it can do for you to help out with so many health issues that are taking place out there right now. And it's kind of a long video, so that's why I thought, you know what, I'm gonna break this up. I'm gonna share some of my takeaways from that video, and then that way you guys can decide if you wanna go back and watch the whole entire thing. All right, but first up, before I dive into that big question, does someone need to take CBD the rest of their life? Before we start to talk about that, I want to share with you my dad's first experience with CBD oil. Now, if some of you guys have been following me, know that back in January, there was an injury that had taken place and had gotten infected. And my dad suffers from diabetes and a few other health complications, which ultimately resulted in him having to get an amputation, a below-the-knee amputation done. It's been a huge struggle for him through this whole process. The loss of his independence, not to mention he's diabetic, so the healing process has not been good. Matter of fact, it hasn't healed at all. It's infected currently at this very time with 2 different bacterial infections taking place. And, you know, again, there's lots of other things going on. He's not usually one that will listen to me, but I guess for him to be open to trying this, again, is telling me he's struggling. He's struggling to get some relief. He's had a knee replacement on his other knee. He needs an ankle replacement. He's got a bit of congestive heart failure going on. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But he was open to giving this a try because we're trying to get his pain levels reduced. We're trying to get that scar from the amputation healed. We are trying to get some of the arthritis that's in his hands. He can barely write and hold his food anymore because the arthritis has gotten so bad in his hands. There's a lot of things taking place, and I honestly don't know if this is going to help at all, but I do know this can help some of it. I do know it's going to help some of it. So I was excited that he was open to giving this a try. And however, I knew it was shipped. It was shipped to him on Monday, and I called him up on Monday. And I'm like, hey, Dad, you know, it's been shipped. I don't know if you got it. If you haven't gotten it, it's probably over at Jill's. So I'll try to make sure she gets it to you, but give me a call so I can walk you through on how to get started with this and how to take it. Well, you know what? That didn't take place. And my sister managed to gave me a little ring last night, and she's like, yeah, I stopped over at Dad's. Hey, Jesse, thanks for jumping on here tonight. She's like, yeah, I stopped over at Dad's, and you're not gonna believe how his first dose of CBD oil went. So I'm like, all right, fill me in. What happened here? And she's like, yeah, he proceeded to put the oil on tomato and eat it. And of course, I'm giggling because this is a mint flavored CBD oil. And I'm really gagging at the thought of mint on a tomato. But he ingested it. So of course, I'm giggling, we're laughing because he did not follow my instructions to call me so I could let him know how to use this. But it gave us for a good chuckle in the process. But in the meantime, I was able to connect with him today, walk him through on what properly needs to be done under the tongue for best absorption. We don't want it going through the digestive system because the digestive enzymes are going to break that down. And now we're not going to get the absorption in the body like we really want to see. So it needs to go right under the tongue, and it needs to set for 1 to 2 minutes. And this is what I've noticed. 1 minute if you're just starting off with the oil and you're only taking maybe 5 to 10 drops. But if you're getting past that 10 drop mark, you might need to leave it sit underneath there for more like 2 minutes to really get all of it to absorb properly in there. People who have done that, who have gone the full 2 minute mark, have had better results. All right, so now he's getting on with it. Let's go. Hearts for dad, hearts for my dad, that this is going to help him. So we want to get him off some of that pain meds. We want to get him feeling better, and we want to get him to be able to move and, maybe get a little bit of hope back into his life. I was trying not to get emotional on this, but it's hard not to. It's hard not to when you see loved ones struggling and you know that you have a potential solution for them. So cross your fingers and hope he follows the instructions and doesn't eat it and gets the most out of it. All right, so let's get on to the main question here. Does someone need to take CBD the rest of their life? And this was a question brought up in the video with Dr. Tom O'Brien. And so here's a few things you need to know. CBD oil is not addictive. I repeat, CBD oil is not addictive. You are not going to have to take this the rest of your life, as in you're not going to be able to not stop. That's not going to ever happen where you oh my God, I have to have my dose of CBD oil. That is not what this oil is about and what it says. It's not addictive. However, there is something to keep in mind with this. And I love how Dr. Tom O'Brien used the analogy of this fire. So you've got this fire going on in your body, and the CBD oil is like a hose. It's like a hose, a water hose that you're putting on that fire to help put it out. However, if that's the only thing you're doing and you haven't changed your lifestyle, let's see over here, and you're still consuming some of the things or doing some of the things that is still contributing and putting gas on that fire, it's just kind of sitting there at a low grade because you haven't done anything to change and stop adding to that fire. So guess what? If you've got the fire going on, you're still pouring gas on that fire because you haven't made any changes in your lifestyle, and then you take that hose away, that CBD oil, guess what? That fire starts to grow and grow and grow again. All right, so does that make sense? You've got to stop pouring gasoline on the fire. And so essentially what it means is, yes, this CBD oil can help be a potential solution from hardcore pharmaceuticals. You want to know what they recommended for me for my fibromyalgia? Lyrica. Do you know how many side effects are with Lyrica? Oh my gosh, there's like a dozen of them. Maybe I have to do another Facebook Live on that one. So this is an option for me to be able to take in place of like a prescription medication. This is totally taking the place of me having to use Aleve or ibuprofen, which was destroying my digestive system and destroying my liver. So this I'm able to take without side effects, but guess what I still have to do? I still have to stop pouring the gasoline on the fire. And so for me, that is, I need to be a little bit more consistent when it comes to following my anti-inflammatory diet, or I should say anti-inflammatory lifestyle. I need to do a better job at staying more consistent with that to allow my gut to heal. All right. And so I need to make a few more changes with how I handle stress. I need to get started meditating on a consistent basis because stress on the body adds inflammation to the body and adds gasoline to that fire. So I know I need to do a better job at finding ways to manage my stress. So these are some things you have to keep in mind. And guess what? If you are able to stop pouring that gasoline on the fire, then yes, your body can eventually heal. And then guess what? You're going to need less and less and less of that CBD oil because your body's going to be able to do what it's been designed to do. But we got to stop pouring the gasoline on the fire. And one of those things is you need to include basically an anti-inflammatory diet along with this to really maximize the effects and the results that this can deliver you. And so what is an anti-inflammatory diet? Well, basically it means that you're trying to remove the foods that we know cause inflammation. And the most common foods, and Dr. Tom O'Brien names two specifically. He names dairy and wheat. Dairy and wheat. The two worst ones for inflammation in the body. The two worst ones for inflammation in the brain, linked to anxiety and depression and other mind type health illnesses. Those two are the big ones that he mentions. Now in his autoimmune fix book, he's going to probably mention more because an anti-inflammatory diet goes beyond just wheat and dairy. So these are from what I know from having an autoimmune diseases and what I've needed to change in my diet. It's not just wheat, it's gluten. It's all gluten that needs to be removed. And he does make that comment in there as well, as it's not just wheat, it's basically gluten that needs to be removed from the diet. Dairy, we said that. Soy is another big one. Sugars, more specifically added sugars. It's not so much the sugars from fruit, it's the added sugars that are going into your food. High inflammatory. And then of course, processed foods. So the more you can remove these from your daily lifestyle, the more the CBD oil can go in and really start to heal the body. And then of course, if everything's healed and working like it should be, you're not going to be on CBD oil the rest of your life. You shouldn't have to be. Or maybe just take it occasionally for when you are having more stressful or traumatic moments taking place, because guess what? It's life. It's a roller coaster ride. You're going to have great high moments and you're going to have some low moments, but you won't necessarily need it the rest of your life on a daily basis. But if you're not making a change to that lifestyle, then like anything else, like your pharmaceuticals, the pharmaceutical meds that you're on right now, what happens if you remove that? You go back to feeling everything that you've dealt with before. It's the same concept. So except for the CBD oil isn't giving you all the crappy side effects that are taking place. And it can actually help make you feel better. So That's kind of the difference there. Is it kind of still a little bit of a fix? Yeah, it can be considered a bit of a Band-Aid. But if you're willing to take that extra step and make a few other adjustments in your life, boy, so many amazing things can really take place. And just think of how much better your life will be and how much higher quality your life will be by just making a few little tweaks along the way. All right, so if you need some more information, this girl knows anti-inflammatory diets. That's what I've had to do for the last 10 years, people. So if you want some more information on, a little bit more guidance on that anti-inflammatory diet, I can even start posting a little bit more, sharing a few more recipes. Pay attention. I post recipes every Friday, and the recipes I post are anti-inflammatory recipes, and they're awesome. So pay attention to those recipes I'm sharing, because those are great tools that right there that you can easily implement and start making a few little tweaks out here and there. But if you have more questions, definitely don't be afraid to reach out to me, message me. I'd love to help you out in that area. And once again, if you're wanting to learn more about the CBD oil, drop a comment below. I can throw you into this free group that we have right now to help educate you and learn more on that aspect of it. All right, so that right there are the takeaways. I've shared 3 nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, of takeaways from Dr. Tom O'Brien's live on CBD oil. I'm not an expert on this. I don't make any medical claims, but I definitely am going to be sharing what the doctors are saying and what the doctors are doing and the research that's coming out on this, because it's important you guys know what's available to you. All right. Thank you so much for jumping on tonight and watching or catching the replay. And if you find this information valuable, please share it to your friends, your loved ones. And like I said, maybe hopefully you can help someone out who's really struggling right now. All right, you guys have a great night. Bye-bye.